All right, looks like I'm live. How's it going, guys? Let's see who's here so far. We have Mateo 1371's here first. How's it going? We've got Warsaw here. What's up, man? And yeah, looks like that's about it. Except for this Glock Shooter 79 guy. He's in here too, so want to make sure we say hi to him, right? Let me make sure this is actually going, because sorry about that. I opened it up in another window and forgot to mute. So if you heard an echo, that should be over now. What's up, Switchpod? Glad to see you made it, man. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about parts kits for a little bit tonight and a couple other things. Had a few questions lately about a few different guns too in some of my videos, so I'll try to do a little bit of clarification about those too, you know. Hopefully I'm coming through good. Let's see here. All right, yeah, so last week I did, or not really last week, I'm sorry, like 2 days ago, in my stream I was showing the AIMS 74 kit, AIMS 74. And that's, you know, basically Romania's AK-74 variant, if you will. 545 by 39 subfolder. Not really an AK-74 though, truly. There's a few distinct features. So I thought maybe I'd talk about that kit a little bit more. And then I have another kit that came in, and I can do a quick unboxing of that one. Now this isn't like a true unboxing like the other one, because this one I actually did take out last night and kind of took a sneak peek at the parts. But I kind of wrapped it all up, and we can still go through the parts together here, you know. Mr. F&H is in the house. How's it going, man? Good to have you. So yeah, if you guys remember, in one of Zeke Shoot streams last week, he was talking about the new Romanian RPK, so-called Paratrooper kits that Arms of America got. And I think these kits are pretty rare. I just saw on their website today that they said they're almost out of the mint condition matching ones, and they're going to be listing some battlefield pickups. So at the time of this video, which is about 10 o'clock p.m. on the 1st of February 2019, you can still go to Arms of America and get one of these Paratrooper Romanian RPK kits. So I just figured I'd give you guys a heads up on that. And I realize these kits aren't going to be for everyone. These are kind of more of like an advanced kit or a rare kit, if you will. But hey, I had to have one because I don't think they ever made many of these in Romania, period. And certainly not many have ever come to this country, you know. No problem, F&H. And he put the the proper communist spelling of my name. If you guys ever notice, he always says GLOVK. That sounds a little more like Comblock, doesn't it? My name shouldn't even really be Glock Shooter, since I don't even talk about Glocks, and all I talk about is mainly Comblock and surplus stuff. But there's a story behind it I'll tell one day when I'm bored. Done plowing for now. It's still freezing cold here, but by tomorrow it's supposed to be about 40 degrees, 45 on Sunday, 50 by Monday. So we're definitely getting our January thaw here in the beginning of February. Road Scholars here. How's it going, man? Glad to have you. Zeke's here. How's it going? Zeke Shoots. He did a good video, didn't he, guys, last night with the Polish AKs. So if any of you didn't get a chance to catch that, might want to go back when you get some time and watch that. He just posted the live stream to the Zeke Shoots account. So that was a good stream, wasn't it? Zeke puts a lot of effort into this, and yeah, I appreciate what he does. I've been a sub of Zeke Shoots for a long time. Lindbergh Johnson, how's it going, man? What's up? Yeah, Switchpot hit 15 today, heat wave. He lives somewhere up in the north too, so yeah. I live in the north, meaning my state touches Canada, but not quite as north as Switchpot. He's a little further north than that even. Yeah, let's see here. I guess we got 9 people in here, so more people are probably coming a little bit. If not, oh well. I'll just kind of start going through this kit, really. So again, this is the Romanian RPK, so-called Paratrooper. And I don't know if that's like the technical military nomenclature. I'm sure it's not, but that's kind of what these kits are being known for. So we'll just call them that. Just like the other day, I was talking about the Polish pistols, and I was like, you know, none of these are Makarovs. The P64 is really more PP inspired, but you guys can call it a Makarov if you want. I don't care. And I keep emphasizing that because you go to so many places and they correct you on the pronunciation. They correct you on what kind of dialect you're supposed to speak. It's like, whatever. We're Americans. I say, and everyone's not an American here, and I welcome people that aren't, but I'm certainly an American, and I'll say Mosin Nagant. It might be pronounced Mosin Nagant, but I say Mosin Nagant. I mean, why not? Nagant revolver, Makarov, Tokarev, you know what I'm saying. I say Kalashnikov. I've seen people that I respect that pronounce it Kalashnikov. I don't see that. I've actually seen Mikhail himself speak and refer to it as a Kalashnikov, so, well, like with his accent. But hey, you can call it a Kalashnikov if you want. That's fine. I just don't see that. But hey, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Brastard's here. Look at him, 68 degrees. Just want to rub it in our nose in it, don't you? All right, guys. Let's take a look at this Romanian RPK kit for a minute. I think this will be kind of neat. Looks like Warsaw's got a new logo here, guys. Looks like he just made it. It's hard to see. The thing is, when you're doing the live through the portion I am, it's all on a black backdrop, so it's not white like it is in y'all's chat. So everything's black, but it looks like it's got like a red ring around it with a white logo in the middle of it. That's cool. I'll look at it later on regular YouTube. It's just kind of hard to see. I literally mean that. It's hard to see because it's like a black on black background right now. All right, looks like we're starting this off with a bang right now. The first part's a pretty cool part, the bipod. And this is one of those, if you guys remember with the Romanian RPKs, there's a couple variants of this bipod. Now my other one, my AES 10B, has just the regular fixed leg bipod, right? This is one of the variety that actually has the adjustable legs. Looks like adjustable legs with like a little wing nut here, which I'm familiar with this variant. It's just kind of cool because this is a little different than my other one. So yeah, comes with an adjustable leg bipod, which is kind of a neat feature, really. I mean, if you wanted to put yourself in the prone position behind like a little bit of a barrier, maybe kind of hide behind a rock or something, you know, you could. Okay, it says Warsaw Patriot and the Polish logo, it looks like. So yeah. Welcome, Peter K. Maybe, I'm not sure what language you're speaking, but welcome. Are you speaking Polish? Like I said, there are people from a lot of different countries that do watch my channel, and I think that's kind of cool. When we're done looking at this kit, I'll tell you guys a quick story about a guy I had the pleasure to meet just recently, like within the past couple days. We've been chatting back and forth in my comments, and he was just giving me some information a few minutes before I came out here from former Yugoslavia, Serbia. So yeah, meet some pretty cool people on here from other countries that have more experience with these guns or have family members that use them, you know, in the military. But yeah, isn't it pretty cool? So we start off with the extendable, adjustable leg bipod. I will also note this one has much bigger feet on it than my other bipod. My other bipod has feet that are quite smaller. This is definitely a different style, so that's a kind of a cool little unique feature. Yeah. All right, I'm going to try to find a spot here on the table next to my desk to stack this stuff. It's going to get pretty chaotic here in a minute, stacking all these Romanian parts up, trying not to get them mixed in. Oh, looks like Mateo 674 is here. What's up, man? Let's see what we've got going on here. Oh, it looks like it has inspirations from the UN flag logo. I'm just trying to go through here. Okay, let's see what's in this parts kit next. You guys are having your own side conversation, just makes it kind of hectic. And I definitely like viewer feedback that pertains to the stream. That's good. The content, I like to answer questions and talk to you guys. If it's nothing to do with the topic, or it's not even like in any way gun related, or you know, whatever, I'm probably not going to really respond, because I like to make these streams somewhat palatable for people who are watching or listening to them the next day, you know. All right, the next part here, we got a top cover. And I was talking about top covers a while ago, but you'll notice this is a non-rib top cover. So this is going to be like the heavier gauge metal. So a little heavier gauge, so therefore it doesn't need all the individual, you know, stamped reinforcements in it. And this has got a serial number on it, UO42, or I'm sorry, yeah, 4230. And we're going to look at all these numbers, because this is supposed to be a completely matching kit that I have here. That's kind of what makes this kit kind of unique, is it's supposed to be completely and utterly matching. And it just won't focus today, but hey, there we go. So yeah, this is looking good. Bluing's real nice on it. I'm noticing so far the parts seem to all be blued. All right, we got our recoil and spring assembly. Yeah, switch pod ribbing's the word I'm looking for. It's just there's a lot of chaos going on in here, so it kind of gets my mind off of it when I'm reading. And this is also numbered 4230. So we got a matching spring recoil assembly. That's nice for sure. And here's our carrier and gas piston. And this appears to be basically unissued again. And I think that's why these guns came in like they did. I don't think these were ever issued. It was something they kind of made a little later in Romania. And I think they just had these kind of squirreled away, because this is a completely blued assembly. And I see no marks on it at all. You can see there where the bolt would interface. Still nice solid blue in there. There we go. That's a good image on that. A couple little scuffs from disassembly and handling, but look at this, isn't even worn off here consistently. So this appears to be a completely unissued part. There's a teeny witness mark on the tail, maybe test fired, but it's nice. You look how shiny that gas piston is. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to say unissued anymore, guys. Maybe unissued, but well, I'll still say unissued. I'm sorry. We'll say unissued, but not brand new. Obviously, it fired a couple rounds. There's a little bit of carbon on the piston, but not much. I mean, just like a teeny bit. Yeah, certainly in great shape. And it also has the UO. Maybe it's a U04230. There we go. And you can just see that deep blue in. Look at that, how the light's just shining off of it. Definitely not a Parkerized part, for sure. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Yeah, like Switchbot said, basically new parts. I'm not trying to be modest here. I'm not trying to say, well, look, this gun never fire one round. Even new guns fire a round, right? You buy a brand new gun from Palmetto State Army, let's just say right now, or a new upper, you're going to see a teeny bit of carbon in there, because they test fire them, right? Ryan Fixer, what's up, man? Late as always. I don't know when you come in usually, because usually you don't say a whole lot. You'll just kind of come in near the end. So maybe you're always late because you don't get the notification. I don't know. Some people get notifications, some don't. I don't know how to solve that problem, really. I've struggled with it myself. Channels I sub to, and I click the bell, but some channels I get it for more often. Other ones I barely ever do. It's tough. Well, yeah, FNH, I kind of know how to pick it out per se, but I always try to bring you guys in on it. You know, I really do. I try to, and everything I get isn't going to be for everyone. I just always let you guys know, you know, when I can, when I see the deals, because I don't want you guys to say I didn't told you. Lindbergh, where can you get a Makarov? Recently, Classic Firearms had Makarovs. Not sure if they sold out of them again or not. If you're talking on the primary market, they were the last people I knew that had them. Of course, you can go on Gunbroker at any time and look for them there too. All right, let's see what we got next. WBP makes the stuff. I think I just saw where Arms of America, they put an email out saying they got some more FB Radom stuff. I haven't had a chance to check that out. I just got that email a little bit ago. Yeah, Ryan, I just started showing the parts kit. You might have just missed it real quickly. The adjustable RPK bipod, which is kind of unique. My other one's fixed. This is adjustable. Big wide feet on it. I basically just showed the non-ribbed top cover. And I showed the basically brand new bolt carrier assembly and the recoil spring. So there you go. You're caught up. Now we have the folding stock. So this is what makes this RPK a so-called paratrooper, right? Normally an RPK has like the clubfoot stock, right? The big wood stock that kind of, you know, the clubfoot. This is actually a side folding RPK. And this isn't a Franken gun. This is as issued and as used in Romania. Granted, rarely used, but if you go on the Arms of America website right now and look at this kit offering, what's really cool is they show you the pictures of the exact guns before they were cut up. Yeah, it kind of pisses you off that you can actually see a picture of a gun that, if our laws weren't so stupid, shouldn't have to be caught up. But at the end of the day, it's still nice they show it. It's a catch-22, right? It gets you so mad because you get to see that perfectly full, complete gun that you wish you could buy and you should be able to buy, but you can't. So you're really mad. You're like, why'd you show me? But yet again, it is still nice to see the picture because it's kind of proof that the variant of the gun is real, and you can kind of see the history of the guns better that way. So yeah, go over and enjoy those pictures of the real machine guns that these kits came from, because they're definitely on Arms of America's website. And yeah, you can just get pissed off like me. So yeah, this has the rear push button. And I mentioned something to you guys the other day. Let me see. I got a PM90 right here. Let me go grab it real quick. I was just going to show you guys the other type of stock. FNH. These kits are $7.99. But these are the basically excellent / unissued all matching numbers parts kits. And then they're going to be having battlefield pickup ones that'll probably be in a little worse condition and probably won't match. So, Rose Color, I don't have the pic like to show on my screen. I don't have the screen sharing software. This is just like a real basic webcam technology I'm using. But you can go to Arms of America and check out theirs. I don't want to say the dot blah 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 after, because YouTube goes through and voice recognition and too much talking. That's why I usually just say, like, go to Classic, go to AOA. And you guys should know how to find that. So give me 1 second. I'm going to, not a PM90 rack. Hold on. Let me just grab the PM90 just to show you guys the different style stock. All right. So this is a Romanian PM90, so same country of origin, right? I've talked about this gun before. This is basically built off of new. Excuse me, guys, gotta readjust here. This is basically built off of a new parts kit, virgin parts kit. So it's unserialized, not because they scrubbed the serial numbers off, but because this parts kit was never even built into a gun yet in Romania. And it does have the original Romanian barrel. But to make this gun where it's not an NFA item, it has a pinned and welded, according to the ATF specification, fake suppressor. And that now gives this legally a 16-inch barrel, even though the real barrel stops right up front here, just right in front of the combination gas block sight, right? But what I'm going to show you guys is, since this has the pendant welded device, this has a functional stock. And if you look at this style Romanian stock, it's got a lever right here that you push down on, and that allows the stock to side fold. Now, in contrast, my AIM 74 that I just recently showed, give me a second here. I got parts all over this table next to me. So my AIM 74 and now this RPK, those, you'll notice there's no more lever anymore. Now there's a push button that you push right here. And when you push on it, it allows the stock to fold. So right now we're in the side folded position. You would push on this button and then deploy the stock into the usable position. So yeah, there's an example of two different types of Romanian side folding stocks. Let's see if there's any differences on the stock while we're at it too, besides that. So let's see here. Obviously, the mechanism itself is going to be a little different, just how it works. You can see the hinges look a little different. Oh my guys, it's a little tricky to get this in front of the camera, right? Where it's a little bit. The actual wire stock itself, though, it's looking pretty close, isn't it? You know, a little bit different angle maybe in this part right here. Just a little bit. But other than that, they're pretty close. Looks like about the same length of pull. Let me line this up a little better over here. Yeah, pretty much same length of pull. It actually seems like this one might be a little bit thicker. What's up, Arm Dave? Glad to see you made it, man. Last stream I showed a little bit of that AIM 74 kit at the end of the stream, near the end, and now today I'm in the middle of showing my RPK Paratrooper kit, Romanian. Strike 9, what's happening, man? Yeah, there are different versions of this, definitely. And we're just noting right now, you know, that these are similar versions of the actual stock itself, just different folding mechanisms. And there's another thing, too, for you guys to keep in mind. With like a PM90 or an AIM 74 or even this RPK stock, when you're looking at receivers, so if you go on to, like, you know, Chandler's receivers, they'll say, do you want us to drill holes in your receiver? And there's different options you can select. And they'll say, well, do you want like a 4.5 millimeter, a 5.5 millimeter, or is it fixed stock, or is it underfolder? Well, even though these are folding stocks, as far as the trunnions go, they're actually fixed stock trunnions. So this is going to have the same type of rivet pattern as a fixed stock. And even though this is folding, you'll notice right here we still have the 2 screws. So I touched on this briefly the other day, but there's different people in here in each stream. So just remember, if the stock itself has the mechanism in it, it's normally a fixed stock trunnion, okay? If the folding mechanism is within the actual trunnion itself, well, that's where it gets specific. And that's back to this type of folding stock. So this has a folding trunnion, no mechanism in the stock. This takes a fixed stock, goes into a fixed stock trunnion because the mechanism's in the stock. And yes, you can, with the normal fitting that's always required, put a fixed wood or polymer stock into your RPK folder or your AIM 74. So yeah. All right, so there's the stock. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm glad I have this PM90 here still, just to show the difference. This part I'm going to save for a minute, because this is like kind of the kicker to this gun too that makes it really unique. Besides the folding stock and the detachable, or not detachable, but adjustable bipod, there's a couple other unique things with this gun too. All right. In their listing, they said that they had some cleaning kits. So kind of first come, first serve, or cleaning rods, rather. You get a cleaning rod. I ordered mine within minutes of the listing going up, so I definitely got a cleaning rod with it. That's always nice to have. And you can get these RPK cleaning rods, but they are a lot harder to find than AKM cleaning rods. And look, if you have an RPK and you just want it to look good as a display with a cleaning rod, you can put an AKM cleaning rod underneath there, and it'll usually go in just enough into the lower handguard where you can't really tell the difference. It's just obviously not going to be usable because it's not long enough to go through the whole barrel. Troll's here. How's it going, Troll? And his name's Troll, right? But he's not an actual troll. He's legit. So just in case anyone's wondering. I know on another site they were actually wondering, and it kind of got a little bit hectic for a minute there. All right, let's see what else we got here. Yeah, like Strike 9 said earlier, you know, wrapped it in paracord so it doesn't rattle your teeth. Yeah, they're cool, and you know, you guys know how I am by now. I'll probably just keep mine stocked just because I want it to have the correct look. But in all fairness, as a shooter, this probably isn't the most comfortable. This is a non-barreled RPK kit here, just so you know, Armed Ape. So that's why this one's a little bit on the pricey side, because it's non-barreled. But these are like, here's how this works though, literally, guys. You can get the barreled regular, you know, regular model 64 RPK right now from Arms of America, all matching for like just under 800 bucks. And that's a better deal if you just want a shooter or just an RPK in general. But trust me, even though this doesn't come with the barrel, so it's therefore more expensive, these Paratrooper side folder Romanian RPKs, they're not even close in rarity. Like, if you wanted to go by rarity, actually 800 is not bad for this kit, because they're probably like not twice as rare, not 5 or 10 times more rare, but literally probably like 100 times more rare. And I'm not joking on that. I've done a little research on them, and they barely made like handfuls of these so-called Paratrooper Romanian RPKs. Again, is that worth it for you guys? I have no idea. But there is something to it, and that's why it's actually a good buy for certain people that really want, you know, one of each variant and like the unique stuff. Trust me, they're not a little more rare. They're like way, 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 way more rare. So, Dex is here. How's it going, man? You like the underfolder greater than the wire? I like the underfolders a lot too, and I mean, I really like underfolders, but we're kind of talking about Romania today, so we'll talk about these. Although I do have a Romanian Model 65 underfolder kit way over there. So if I get through this without rambling too much, I do have a Romanian underfolder kit. Actually, 2 of them right over there off camera. So yeah. All right, here's our upper handguard gas tube. What's kind of interesting here is I was talking to you guys the other day about these wood. This is actually has like what appears to me a solid hardwood handle. You can just tell by the tight grain that it's not your normal laminate. And look at that. There's no signs of laminating. So this is a solid wood upper handguard. Just kind of interesting. Normally, solid wood for Romania was like 1963, 64 production. Then they went over to the Bakelite for the grips. Then they started going with the laminate. But this has like early hardwood era upper handguard, but this gun's definitely not early. It's kind of interesting. My AIM 74 kit's barreled. Same number again. So again, another matching number. The wood's in great shape, by the way. It's just really, really interesting to see that it's early hardwood, than with it not being an early gun. Here's your standard so-called Bakelite pistol grip. Pretty standard Romanian. You'll notice Romanian with the checkers, the little diamonds, if you will, they're inverted. So concave on a Romanian, where if you looked at like a Polish or a Russian, the actual triangle part would be convex. So I don't know if you guys ever noticed that detail. At first glance, they look the same, but the Romanians, have the concave little diamonds, and the other ones generally have the convex. Quick way to tell. And these can be all different colors, of course, and this one happens to be a real dark red. Would look great. It would look great with that tool I had as far as the color goes, but you can tell by the checkering pattern right away that it's not. And Russian ones usually have like a 1/1, looks like a fraction, or like 1/2. They'll always have like a number over another number. The Romanians actually never put any kind of proof marks on them at all, that I can tell. Nothing. And I've had a lot of these Romanian grips over the years. There was times where Centerfire Systems was dumping these like 10 for $1 at their lowest point, then $1 a piece. I think you can still get them for $5 a piece, which is still not bad for an original con block grip. But oh yeah, there was a time, because you know how they get all these grips is all the Wassers that used to come over came with original Romanian stuff, and then for 922R they switched it out with Tapco, and they just ended up with piles of basically free furniture, and that's why that stuff used to get dumped. Yeah, the stocks they were giving away too cheap at one time, because again, just extra parts they were getting from the imported guns, and then with 922R they would swap them out, and they were kind of just like trying to get them out the door. Confidence Marcelo, did I fall asleep to Red Dawn every night? I've watched that movie a couple times, but no, not really my favorite movie, although I do like it quite a bit. Let's see here. Warsaw says it looks good. Thanks. Let's see here, guys. I'm just kind of catch up the comments. If I miss one of your comments or questions, guys, go ahead and repeat it. And if you do like at Glock Shooter 79, it makes it in orange. So if you're talking to the guys or just making a generic comment, that's cool. I do go back and try to read the comments later. But if it's something you really think's pertinent to the stream and you want me to kind of address on camera, do at Glock Shooter 79. And if I miss it, hit me up again, because, you know, a lot of stuff scrolls past me pretty quick here. Okay, Braster's talking about a Model 63 1980 kit, Serials Magic, except the upper handguard is solid wood like that one, and doesn't fit the glass block or rear sight base, and it looks brand new. Yeah, the first 2 years of the Model 63, they used to be all wood, even wood pistol grips. And Arms of America, back to them again. They better take care of my problem I have, by the way, with this bent part, because I give them props like every single show. I'm going to call them Monday. Wolverines, they said. Anyways, yeah, so those have all wood. You can actually go to Arms of America and check those kits out. They do have some 1963 first year and 64 second year Model 63 Romanian kits. And you'll see what I'm talking about when I say all wood. All right, now here's the bag of goodies. There's a lot of little pins and stuff I don't want to lose, so let me pull out the important parts. I mean, they're all important, but you know what I mean. Road Scholar's talking about a pistol brace. There's a couple that I like. I don't know. You're talking about for the AK. What I showed this gun on other streams, but this is my Chiappa Pack 9. And what I did is I went to Stormworks and I bought their folding mechanism with the AR buffer tube adapter. And then I bought the CAC shockwave with the CAC tube and the shockwave. They make an adjustable shockwave now, or you could buy this adapter from the here back like I did. Okay. And you could get like the SBA3 or any of those, because you just have a regular AR-15 receiver extension right here, right? I just chose this, but nowadays I might put an SBA3 on here. I still kind of like this blade though, because it's so thin, and with this being a side folder, it makes a pretty thin package. So here's a pretty cool AK brace. And the cool thing about it, they make different versions of this folding adapter. They make the one that goes underneath the pistol grip and is retained by the pistol grip screw. Or in this case, with it being a pack, there used to be a sling on the back of this gun. So you actually just take the sling swivel out, and there's a bolt that goes through that we're not going to be able to see now because I screwed on the folding portion, right? But there's basically a plate here and a screw that goes through, and you just utilize the same screw hole that the sling swivel was on. So there's no altering or tapping or threading of the receiver required on this particular gun. And I think this is a much more stable platform here than putting it underneath the pistol grip and just having it pinch in there. So yeah, this is kind of a cool little brace setup. Hopefully that helps you. Who asked me that question? Road Scholar. Hopefully this helps as an idea. You can put this setup on other AKs too, though, is my point. And everyone that's so pissed off about the PSA AK-V, whatever it was called, we still have another option, so don't forget about it. It's not like you can't get yourself a 9mm AK pistol. They're right here. Price is right. I'm not going to say I've torture tested this gun, but I've put a few mags through it. It doesn't like the Korean mags, but the mag pull have been fine. The genuine Glock have been fine, and even the ETS clear mags have been fine. So there you go. Not a bad gun at all for, like, obviously all of this back here costs significantly more, but the gun itself, $430 maybe, 35 bucks extra for the Glock adapter. But if you're on a bare bones budget, we're talking like sub 450 bucks, and you can shoot the Beretta mags, which it comes with 2 generic Beretta mags. It comes equipped to take Beretta 92s. So if you're a Beretta guy and already have a 92, you don't even need to buy this Glock adapter. So yeah, there you go. Decent little setup here. What doesn't it like about them? It hates them, so it says screw you, and it jams and refuses to allow it to feed it. Basically, it won't take food from a Korean mag. So that's why I'm going to assume it doesn't like it, right? F&H, is this kit for building or saving? You know, I'm going to definitely get with Recreator and tell him this is a Paratrooper one. Make sure that he's on the same page. Make sure there's nothing different we need to do the receiver. But I'm going to get a receiver for this one. Will I build it or not? I'm 50-50 still. I might be saving this kit, but even if I do save it, I want to get a receiver for it, because if we ever got in a situation where it was an assault weapons ban or this this so-called 3D printed guns build, you know, 7115, HR 7115, if any of those went through and I couldn't get a receiver, I'd be really pissed if I couldn't have a correct receiver for such a rare kit. And I wouldn't want to even think about being stuck just putting like a generic shelf receiver on it, right? So I think I might save the kit, but I'm definitely getting a receiver for it, if that answers your question. Because again, not that you guys necessarily want it, not that it's the most valuable, but I'm telling you, these Paratrooper kits, very, very, very rare. So if it's something you're dying for and you think it's the coolest thing ever, you may or may not ever be able to get them again. It's just something we've never really seen. And Zeke, if Zeke's still here, he can chime in on that. I think Zeke agrees they're not really been seen too much here or even seen too much overseas. Let's see here. Strike 9 got the 68 Tula build out yesterday after watching recent live stream. Not a Mishiko exclusive, but does have an FB barrel and Childer's shell. One of my favorites. That's cool, man. That's nice. I've got a couple of those kits from our guns back when they were, well, I'll just say cheaper than they are now, because I'm not trying to rub it in for guys that are just getting them. But let's just say a few years back, our guns had those Russian kits a lot cheaper. So at that time, and I'm only saying that because I'm not rich, guys. At current prices, I wouldn't have been able to do this, right? But it's back then they had 68s and 69s in both Tula and Azovs. So I ended up buying a 68 Tula, 68 Azovs, and a 69 Tula and a 69 Azovs. So yeah, those are cool, and I'm kind of jealous because I've been wanting to build mine up for a while. And here, I'll show you what I'm talking about, Strike 9. Me and you're kind of on the same page as far as. I have a bunch of Childers receivers over here. I was kind of going through them. But yeah. Childers CG1. It was funny that you mentioned the Childers receiver. And then I have some Polish barrels. And here's the deal with the gun that the FB Radom barrel, those are awesome. And if I'm building a Polish kit, I always use an FB Radom barrel. But don't forget about the Romanian barrels, the current imports that M+M imported back a couple years back, and I think you can still get them. I think Arms of America has them. The threaded and extractor cut Romanian barrels. So I think what I'm going to do for my Russian kits, and this is fine, trust me, I'm not criticizing the ones Misha had built at all. I'd rather have the Polish Radom barrel than the US barrel. So that's awesome. But for my Russian kits that I'm going to build, and in fact, those I'm not going to build. I'm going to send off and have them built because like Zeke said in his streams, it's back to the whole resale value thing again, guys. If I have a kit that's going to be worth some money once it's built, I want it built by a name brand maker, and I want it to be built by someone that has a reputable name. Like My Guns Northwest, you know, otherwise known as Turbo This on the forums. I'm going to have someone like him. Or even possibly, Matt's probably my first choice. If not, even Two Rivers is awesome. I want someone like that's name on it because now there's no questions asked that if my daughter ends up inheriting the gun or my wife or whoever, you know, they get to sell the gun. There's no debate now. It's built by a licensed FFL, and also by having that person's name on it actually adds money to the kit build. Whereas if you just build it literally yourself, in like an intrinsic sort of way, it's worth more to you because you built it with your own hands, right? But to a Joe Blow, unless it's a friend of yours that knows that you're a good builder, it can basically be worth nothing. A lot of people look at kit builds that are built by a no-name maker as only parts kits. They just cut them up before they shoot them because they can't trust it. I'm not saying I would do that, but that's kind of what a lot of people do. And there's a lot of gray areas on how you're supposed to sell it, how you're supposed to market. So yeah, I'm definitely going to have my I'm going to keep a couple Russian kits back because as FNH and a few of you know, I like to kind of just collect kits in and of themselves. So, but I also like to build some of them too. I'm kind of 50-50 on that. Anyways, what's it cost? A couple people are asking me. Well, I'll say this. I don't know if it's one of those things where he's gone up or not. So I know so I don't want to say this, but he might be just still doing it for the same prices for me as he always has. Or maybe this is still his price for everyone. But let's just say My Guns Northwest. His price has been in the past $200 if you have a barreled kit. So if you buy like one of those barreled Arms of America kits, or if you have one of the pre-barrel band kits, like the old Romy G kits that you guys all know about, when they still used to keep the original barrels intact before we had to cut them up, those, or one of the current Headspace pre-barreled kits, meaning all the components are on the barrel, those are $200. Now, if you have a non-barreled kit and he has to populate the barrel also, I believe that's an extra $200, so it becomes $400. Or it might only be another $150 for that. I don't know. I've had a lot of different unique stuff done, but I know it's definitely like $200 if you send him a barreled kit, pre-barreled kit. And of course, you can send him your receiver, or he makes his own receivers, and of course, that's going to be extra if you're using one of the ones he made. See, he kind of specializes in making the Chinese receiver. Whereas if you go to your a lot of your other places, like Childers, for example, doesn't sell the Chinese receiver. Anyways, I was going back earlier. I almost got off track. I'm sorry. I like on a Russian kit, I'm going to put Romanian barrels on mine. Genuine, cold hammer forged, chrome line, made in the Kugera plant, Romanian barrels on my Russians. Because I think that's actually a little more correct for a Russian. Because if you study the history of Russians, like one of my 64 dated Model 63s, I actually was lucky enough to find the famous Y stamp on it. And that's a Russian proof mark. And many people say, and that's kind of what the history says, is that when Romania first started building their Model 63, they weren't making the barrels quite yet. And they were just buying barrels straight from Russia and putting them on the Romanians. And then when they did start making them, they were making them on Russian tooling as literally 100% clones. So I think actually a Romanian barrel, just in my opinion, is a little more proper on a Russian kit. That's why I'm going to go that route. But with all that said, in my last stream, I'm very happy to also have a FB Ratum on there too. Just wanted to let you guys know that with all the FB Ratum talk going on, it's obvious that you can do those. And those are the ones that you get choices to get it built with from Arms of America. But I just wanted to remind you guys, don't forget about the Romanian barrels. Those are out there. They're a real thing. And with some countries, I could even make a very valid argument that they could even be more correct, or at least equally correct. FNH. So who I'm talking about is a guy that his name is Matt Yemens. He goes by his screen name like in the forums. So you'll see him on the AK files and other places. I think he's banned from the AK files, but he goes by Turbo this. So you can literally type into Google Turbo THIS and you'll find him that way. Or you can look up My Guns Northwest. He's located in Talent, Oregon. And his name is Matt Yemens. You can probably find him by looking up any of those. And then the other one is called Two Rivers Arms. And they did this this gun here. And Matt Yemens also does re-welds, and I also have his guns too. So yeah. Let's see here, guys. Just taking a quick look at the comments. And then I got to get back to this paratrooper. I'm getting off track, like I always do. And it's such a fine line, guys. That's why I'm going like this. I'm going, because trust me, to create something with your own hands, it can be almost priceless to a point, right? So, do I need to explain it, or do you guys just kind of know what I'm talking about? How in certain cases, though, you just kind of want to have a professional build it. And also, let's just face it, like a guy like me, no doubt, I'm not even going to debate the couple people that I would trust to build my kits. They're going to do a better job than me. So that's first and foremost. And I think that's for a lot of you guys. You'll admit they could do better than you. Now, let's look at a separate category of person. Let's look at, like, Zeke. Now, Zeke, this is what he does. He's just a builder, period. Can they build better than Zeke? Let's just say no, they're equal. I'm just going to say that because, and trust me, Zeke, when he listens to this, he's not going to take that as a put down. I'm not going to say Zeke's better than Turbo, and I'm not even going to say Turbo. Let's just say they're the same for argument's sake, right? Now, Zeke will even tell you guys how that's still not for everyone, because even if you could build better than Turbo or better than Two Rivers, there's those whole legal issues, gray area, estate planning, your will, your trust, your future laws that can come into play, where maybe your child, when you're dead 20 years from now, 30 years from now, whatever, 50 years from now, your grandkids might say, hey, we are going to choose to register this quote assault weapon to keep them from confiscating it. And maybe they can't register it unless it was made by an ATF approved. I mean, so there's a lot of gray area stuff now on selling a home build, and I only see it getting more gray as time goes on, not less. Like, unless we really have a revolution in this country with these younger voters coming up and really getting their heads on straight here quick, we're not gaining gun rights, guys. It seems like we're fighting just to keep them the same and fighting to keep from losing them fast. So you guys know what I mean. If it's a gray area now, definitely think about some of these things if you really want these investments to be. Now, there's a million other reasons why you want to build your own. Under the radar, whatever. Trust me, I get all that too. It's just not, you just got to go like this, right? I'll just leave it at that. It's tough, man. We should be able to just straight up buy those fully automatic machine guns that they show before they cut them up in Arms of America. We should be able to order, in my opinion, straight from Romania, have it shipped straight to our house. And that's the way it should be, in my opinion, because shall not be infringed. A background check's an infringement. Paying a tax is an infringement. Having something grandfathered in is an infringement. Paying a special occupational tax of thousands of dollars a year, that's an infringement. Having to go to a law enforcement official and ask them for a letter of intent, because even after you pay the special occupational tax, you still have to have like a chief of police or sheriff or FBI or whatever write a letter saying that they intend to demo your guns. If that's not infringement, then what is infringement? So yeah, I truly believe. Now, as you guys know, I'm not a lawyer. I'd never give you advice. Second of all, this isn't the way it works. You'll go to prison if you do what I'm saying, so you shouldn't do it. But the way I think it should work and how our country should function, and we'd be a stronger country if it did, I should literally be able to send an international money order to Romania. They could have taken this RPK Paratrooper, put it in a box, charged me the $80 overseas shipping. It's expensive, and it should have just showed up at my door as a complete machine gun. Because you shall not be infringed means you shouldn't have to ask for permission, shouldn't have to be regulated, shouldn't have to be encroached upon. So, yeah. But again, I'm just telling you guys how I believe it should be. Because we all know if somebody really, really wanted to take one of these kits, they could physically do as much bad as they wanted with it. Or they could use these special parts as paperweights. Like I said, that one paperweight specializes in 3 sheets of paper at a time. The other paperweight, it specializes in holding an infinite amount at a time until you run out of paper, if you guys know what I mean. Those are fine, you know. Paperweights are cool. But if somebody's got bad intentions, they're a bad person, they don't need paperweights to hurt people. So therefore, if you're a good person, why not ship someone something with all the functional paperweight still in it? You know what I mean? Bad people don't follow laws. Good people don't need laws. It's just as simple as that. What about ITAR? Yeah, what about that? Does it say shall not be infringed? Asterisks, parentheses, colons, except the ITAR? Yeah, that's what it says, right? Like FNH said, he loves his AME 65, but it's a turd, needs some help, sure. Those builders I'm referring to as, okay, so FNH got you there too, Rivers. We're also talking about My Guns Northwest. Give me a second, guys. Let me just find his website, and I'll throw it in here. This is a good guy. He's one of us, you know. This is a real AK guy. Once I had a couple text messages come through. Need to make sure they weren't business calls. Ooh, Kamala would disagree. Kamala Harris, how about that? Am I buffering, guys? Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, I was buffering. Why was I fine when I was just talking about parts and paperweights? And it seemed like it just took a second after I was talking about how we should, even though I'm not going to advocate this, you should be able to get the full gun shipped straight in. Then I buffered. So I just have to sit there and do, you know, just be real prim and proper. Yes, Master, we appreciate you allowing us to have what we have, YouTube. Thank you for allowing me to even have parts. No, I will never build parts. No, I mean, was that what I have to do? As soon as I say anything, man. No, you're right. I said get a link, didn't I? Did the link show up? All right, I put the link in there, guys. Hopefully you clicked on it. Now I'm just going to get rid of the link because there we go. Just for the sake of, so it's a little better to watch. Anyways, here's the Trunnion for this Paratrooper RPK. Same matching numbers. And this is a 1989. So this is going to be on the later side of things, if you will. We've got a two mark journal. Okay. And then you'll notice on the rear sight base, here's your rear sight base, also blued. These guns are weird, guys, because it's late production. It's 1989, but it has like a lot of early features on it, like bluing instead of parkerizing. Because yes, Romania did go to parkerizing at a certain point. Not just the Century ones, but even the military ones. This had a number 2 on it, too. It's kind of faint. A lot of times the strikings on these are a little faint. Let's see if it'll show up. There we go. Number 2, barrel journals. So we're looking at number 2 trunnion, number 2 rear sight base. And of course, that's going to be bigger than an AKM, right? For the big RPK profile barrel. Here's the bolt. Which it might be a little hard to see, but let's see if we can get it to pick that up. Matching serial number as well. I'll just take my word for it. It matches. Same thing here, though. This is in really nice shape. No wearing on the stem. A teeny bit of wearing on the engagement. Again, I think this was just a test-fired gun before it had to be cut up and neutered. I wish so bad Gunstreamer would allow actual streaming, guys. We could go on there, and they're not going to care. They're pro-Second Amendment. Okay, here's that rear trunnion I was talking about again. Looks similar to the Ames, right? I need to actually do a comparison of that in a minute and see if it's like exactly the same as the Ames, because it might. The AIMS 74, although it's chambered in 545 by 39, it's like an AKM when it comes to the rear trunnion, right? Definitely does not use a 74 trunnion, so we'll try to look at that. This looks a little bit thicker, though, doesn't it? Yeah, sometimes when I put my hand behind it, it does help. There we go. That helps. Seems like sometimes on the small parts, I almost have to use like my finger. Let me see if I can do it here. With my hand behind it, maybe it'll... Wow, not a bad idea. See, I knew I kept this Mateo guy around for something. There we go. Excuse me. Let's see what we're looking at here. I don't see any minor rust at all. Nowhere. No Cosmoline either, which is kind of cool. Everything's just got a light, thin coating of oil on it, to be honest. Are you guys saying the yeah, the dimensions of this will probably be a little bit different. Strike Down brings up a good point. 1 millimeter, 1.5. So the receiver should be 1.5. This trunnion is not going to be identical, guys. I guess what I meant to say earlier is I want to see where the rivets line up. Okay, that's mainly what I'm talking about is the rivets. Thought I saw somebody new pop in. Who popped in here? Somebody popped in here. I know I saw a new name pop on the screen, guys. Where are you at? Okay, Troll, I said hi to you earlier. Albert's here, my favorite one. There you go. What's up, Albert? Mateo has Excedrin too, he says. Yeah, 1.5 on the RPK, 1 millimeter on the AIMS. Here we have a muzzle nut that somehow got wedged into the... There we go. Just kind of wedged in there. Muzzle nut, which is typically what you find on an RPK, right? Not a whole lot of sugar scoop RPKs out there from my experience. There we go. I put my hand behind it, and then I kind of tilt it up into the light. All right, let's see if we have a marking on here. Note how this handguard has the bipod retainer in it. See that? And it actually, see that? And it's actually retained in there. They put just like a little bevel, like crimp over here, where it's loose and it'll float in and out, but it won't actually come. It won't actually fall all the way through, right? You guys see that there? So that's kind of cool. That's a little bit different than most, right? And they may be known sometimes to put a journal mark number on these, but not always. Let me see what this one has. Don't see a journal mark on this retainer, actually, but we do see a nice sling mount. Let's see what else here. A bunch of small parts are kind of falling out of this bag. There's kind of a hole in the one bag they put this in. There we go. There's our front sight. This is a 2 still, but it's a half struck 2. Like they literally didn't strike the bottom of the 2. There we go. I can still tell it's a 2 though. You gotta have experience with these kits to be able to read half struck numbers, but it's a number 2. Gas block. And you'll note it has the vented gas block, so it's going to be more like a AKM style gas, right, rather than a milled AK-47. This should definitely have a journal number on it too. Should. Sometimes they just forget to mark these parts too. Trolls asked me if there's a night sight. No, not that I see here. Nope. Unprotected, unhooded front sight. No flip-up device installed. And on the rear sight, standard RPK sight, which does have, you know, windage and elevation on the rear sight. This is a standard RPK feature. But no, nothing with night sights on this one. Yeah, Warsaw, the sight was a number 2 for sure. The sight was marked 2. Man, lots of comments tonight, guys. This is good. I'm just hoping I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings if I miss one. I like talking to you guys. Just sometimes they go through pretty quick. Orion's still here. Good to see you. No, Warsaw, you're not my favorite. Albert's my favorite. I've been making that clear lately, but you're still all right, Warsaw. Let's see here. What else I have? I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in here, guys. It just came with like a rip in the bag, so I'm trying to like hover over here because I don't feel like looking for pens for the next hour and a half. There we go. Braided hammer spring. Where's my... Let's see if this is serialized. And it's not, which is fine. A lot of Romanian, I've noticed most of my Romanian AKMs, AKMS, they don't have serial numbers. I actually thought it was kind of rare that my Ames 74 did. I thought that was kind of actually unique. I don't see it anywhere on here. Sometimes it's in the actually it is right here. Never mind. I looked there immediately. The light was just hitting it weird. Zeke's right. This is usually where it is. I just didn't see it the first time. The light was just catching it just right. And Zeke knows what I'm talking about with the light, because I called Zeke a couple months back. I'm like, look, the guys kind of liked my first stream, you know, in a little bit. Well, they didn't like it, but they didn't hate it either. But you can't see me. It's just like so dark. And I'm like, I have lights all over the ceiling of this whole shop, just like covering it. He's like, nah, dude, for people to actually see you, you have to put the lights like right in your face where they're like blinding you. And if there's so much light that it's completely miserable for you, then people can actually see. And I realized that you literally like, okay, my camera's here. I'm like just an inch in front of it, just right here. Like you guys can't see because I'm off camera, duh. But like, I want to say like the top of the screen there where you can see the light's like 1 inch above that. And then there's more off to each side and then right above me too. So I had to put like tons and tons and tons of lights in just to even give it a chance to focus. There we go. So we got 230 there, which, as you guys have noticed on all your AKs, when they run out of spots to put all the letters, they'll just use the last 3 or last 4. So this matches too. I might want to trim what? What Warsaw was saying, he's giving gunsmithing advice. That's up to you guys. I'll just leave it at that. I keep mine as original as possible. But might's the key word. You might want to do that. You might not want to. In other words, not being a licensed gunsmith, I don't want to give advice on that. I'll just say I keep mine as close to original as possible. Let's see what we're looking at here, guys. Yugos, those are actually no. Yugos are just Yugos. To be honest with you, they're not really AK-47s. They're not really RPKs. They're not really AKMs. Yes, some of their models can kind of lean more in those different directions. But at the end of the day, and I'm really not trying to give you a snarky answer, at the end of the day, I've come to the conclusion that Yugos are kind of just that. They're just simply Yugos, which are awesome. I've really been into Yugos a lot lately. Not only their AK variants, but their pistols, all their stuff. They're really cool. I love a bunch of rabbit hole guns. A bunch of interesting stuff that goes back to how I'm trying to answer your question. Since they don't really fit neatly into the categories, Zeke kind of gave a good analogy. Zeke's not going to be able to sum it up for you in one sentence either. It's a topic that takes way more than a sentence. But yeah, Yugos are as much an AKM as the Chinese are, which is not quite at all. But some of them are more milled. The Yugos, some are more milled than others. And I did do a very long stream about Yugos. So there's a lot of content there if any of you guys missed that stream back a couple weeks back. So you'll see some of them have the vented tube, like this M64 that I'm looking at here. Vented tube. And then you'll see other ones. It's just, oh man. I've been on a little while now to get into the whole Yugo rabbit hole. So you probably didn't know you were doing that to me, Strike 9, but you just started making my head spin in circles. Not because I'm not interested in it, just because it's something that there's a lot of subject matter there. And they're very interesting. Albert says there's not enough lights until I'm sweating. Here's the problem, dude. Like, these are all these modern LEDs. So you're not going to work up a sweat nowadays. Okay, here's the coolest part ever, guys. And when I say coolest part, this is what truly makes these special. So let me tell you a quick lesson here, history thing here. So if you go back to this Yugo, right, M72 AB1, that's the underfolding RPK. It's in my Yugo stream if you guys missed it. But that one, you can do clones of it, and clones are awesome, and they're cool, but what really, really makes it tough to clone are two things. The detachable bipod, because they only put the detachable bipod on the M72 AB1, right? And the other thing that makes it really, really hard to, the detachable bipod makes it hard, and why am I having a brain fart here? The exact type of underfolder stock makes it hard. Detachable bipod's the hardest part, though, but there's a little difference in the stock. So try as you might, you can try to make one, but you're not going to quite pull it off because normally if you have a detachable bipod in a completely correct stock, you're not going to be able to, you're probably going to have the parts kit, right? Because those parts kits were so rare, not many people just split the parts kits up. So there's one feature on this that's going to make it tough, too. That has the retractable legs, expanding legs. That's one thing. And the bipod. So we're back to a different type of bipod. But from what I understand, and maybe someone in the audience can chime in, the regular RPKs, fixed stock, did have adjustable leg bipods on them. I don't have one of those. Mine does not have the adjustable legs. And mine has the much smaller feet. So I'm wondering if normally these have the big feet, or if this is just specific to this. So you guys know what I mean. If you've got the adjustable leg bipod on a fixed stock, does it have the big feet on the bottom, or are they smaller? Zeke says some did. So this is something too that might get you a little bit, but you can find these. What makes these really unique is this one piece right here, and that would be the lower handguard. And what's going to make it impossible to clone if you want a parts matching one is, yes, they are serial numbered. So this is, again, a matching, serialized, so-called dong, lower handguard / foregrip, okay? Which is not typical of an RPK, as you guys know. So at the end of the day, you're getting a folding stock, which, yes, you could buy that folding stock and take it off of one kit and move it into your regular RPK, okay. But you're still not going to be able to get one of these. And this is different profile than the standard AKM dong. You're not going to be able to take an AKM dong and get it to work on the RPK. And if you try to buy a regular Romanian RPK lower handguard, it's going to be missing the dong grip, right? So it's an actual, like Zeke's saying, it's an actual RPK handguard. Don't use it as an adult. Yeah, no, I won't. But yeah, so this literally comes down to, you guys, as stupid as this sounds, that what makes this kit, well, what makes the kit rare is the fact of what it is. We all know that. But what makes it where, like, it's a lot harder to clone such a rare kit, it all comes down to this. So if I dropped this on the ground and it shattered into a million pieces, which it probably won't, it's laminated. But if I did, my $800 kit just went down to like $400 instantly. So you could, if you wanted to really razz me right now, you could say that I paid $400 for this handguard, right? But I didn't. The handguard's just the part that makes it unique. It makes the clones a little bit tough to forge, if you will. Now look, if you guys buy one of those RPK kits, or you already have an AES-10B and you want to put a side folding stock on it, I'm fine with that, guys. Totally fine with it. Where I'm going to have a big problem with you, and where a lot of people are, is if you build it as a Paratrooper lookalike, and then you go online with it and you start saying, this was one of those original Paratrooper kits that they only imported 50 of, and nobody has them, and the kits were $800 5 years ago, and now the kits are worth $3,000, and I have one, guys. Look, I have one, and it's for sale. That's where you're a big problem. That's where you're a fraud and you're a phony, and what you're doing could possibly be criminal. So nothing wrong with making a clone, if you will, to your likings. Just be honest with people and say, look, guys, I like the look of the Paratrooper RPK. I made one that kind of looks the part. It's not a real one per se, but it's my gun and I like it, and I'm totally fine with that. I just don't like it. People don't do this very often, but once in a while, a guy will really, really try to clone a rare kit. Marcel says clones aren't always bad. Okay. I try to make myself clear, though. The clone's fine if you want it, but you better not tell people it's the real thing or you're a fraud by definition, I think. Does anyone else have the same, if you're literally lying and saying, I have one of those rare kits that only 50 man, and you're trying to make thousands of extra dollars on it, you're lying. And you're ruining the market for people that did actually work hard to invest and buy one when they could. And you're also just screwing the guy that you're selling it to. And you're making yourself into some kind of like false advertising if you're propping it up on YouTube and saying, look, I have a real deal Paratrooper, when you know it's not. So, in other words, here's what I'm saying, guys. Here's just my opinion. Do what you want. I'm nobody's dad here. I am a dad, but my daughter's in bed, so you girls don't have to listen to me. What I'm saying is, if you guys want to buy one of these and put it on your regular RPK, that's cool. I'm not a snob. I'm not going to say you can't have this because you didn't buy the kit. No. Just don't buy this and then get on and say, look, I have this, rare Paratrooper. Just say, look, I like the look of the Paratrooper. And this is a Model 64 RPK, and it has a you know, I did it up to look like it. Zeke's a good guy to defer to, guys. He did the Korean build. He makes it known it's a clone every time he speaks about it. He won't type about it or do a video about it without mentioning the word clone every couple sentences. He even did a couple things purposely wrong to make it look like it's so any expert, or not even expert, I shouldn't use those words, any enthusiast would know it's a clone. And yeah, I think Zeke's kind of, you know, here's the thing, guys. Other people have been calling themselves an ambassador and arbiter. Let's just say this. Zeke is the ambassador and the arbiter of the clone world. I'll say it right now. I'm the first guy to say this. Zeke's right. Some of the AESBs did have a folding stock, and people were saying they were wrong. And that's why it's actually interesting that these kits came in, because this actually justifies what they were doing with some of those AES 10Bs. Cool story. But you guys get what I'm saying, right, about the whole cloning thing? So just remember, guys, you heard it first on the Glock Shooter 79 channel. Zeke Shoots is the ambassador and the arbiter of the AK clone. And for those of you that have been on other sites, you get the inside joke about that whole ambassador / arbiter thing. Let's see here, guys. Yeah, good point, Mateo. It does seem a little bit light, doesn't it? Ambassador. Zeke is the ambassador. Zeke's did. I mean, don't get me wrong. Zeke's kits did drop college funds. Some kids can't even go to college now. I mean, he dropped the price of those kits overnight instantly, is what I meant to say. But other than that, he did a good job. Like ruining college saving funds, exactly. Yeah, this RPK kit, guys, is going to put my kid through college. You got me? So unless you want to see a little girl not grow up and go to college, you can't forge my kit. But you can still buy them right now. So go into the workforce. Well, you know, the whole college fund thing's more of a joke. My daughter can go to college if she wants. She doesn't have to. Her mom and dad, I'm going to tell her when she gets a little older, both have college degrees. My wife and I, we both have college degrees. Do either of us actually use them? No. Have either of us used them in a long time? No. So I think I can speak to it as well as anybody. Some people need it. Some people don't. Some people it's nice to have in their back pocket. Some people don't need it at all. College degree, I'm gonna say 6 of one, half dozen of the other. And I'm saying this from a person that does have a college degree, but does not use it whatsoever, and I can survive perfectly fine without it. So. Mateo ate crayons for a few years, and that was his college. So yeah, so only a couple hundred of these kits came in, like Zeke's saying. And when I was saying 50 earlier, I didn't mean there's literally only 50 of these. That was just an example. Because some kits, M72, AB1, there was only 50 or so. You know what's kind of interesting? Let me grab this. You can tell these guns are made in a similar era. Even though the one's an RPK handguard. And the other's, what did I do with it? After, like I said, that I basically spent $400 for this handguard. I lost it, right? No, I found it. This is kind of neat. So here's the Ames 74 handguard. And here's the RPK handguard. And they look real similar. If you look, let's see them in equal light here. They're kind of the same color scheme, made out of the same wood. Not being natural laminate wood, you know, there's no two that are going to be alike. Obviously, the grains are different, but especially in real life here, guys, away from the lights, these definitely, I mean, they look like they were made from the same stock right around the same time. Pretty cool. As far as the actual grip itself, they're about the same, to be honest. But let me go to the rear here. Let me try to line them up. You're going to see the RPK one is substantially larger as far as overall width, right? The height, it's hard to line these up on camera, guys. I'm sorry. The height, really, not really much difference. A little bit of height difference. RPK is a little taller. But you can see basically the width here. Quite the difference. And this does have the metal ferrule here that's crimped into place. One difference you'll see there. The AIMS 74 does not. This has a tension clip on the front. The AIMS does, where the RPK does not. So a couple changes there. What's happening, Tyvin? I saw him in the Hank Strange's stream earlier, guys. I'm sure a few of you guys were over there too. But yeah, these kind of look real similar. Where they didn't serialize the AIMS lower handguard, they definitely serialized the RPK. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. Just give me a second, guys. I'm trying to find the trunnion for the AIMS 74. Here, it's just there's just a whole bag of small parts, and I don't want this bag of small parts to get mixed in with the RPK bag of small parts, because that'll be fun, right? A Glock wooden lower. That'd be interesting. Any thoughts on that, guys? It kind of throws me for a loop, but thinking about it for a minute, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea. Let's see here. Would be a neat project, yeah. Yeah, any of you guys near Ohio or anything? Well, you don't really have to be near Ohio. You can travel too, right? But you can check out the Creator Summit, creatorsummit.us. Yeah, here's the AIMS 74 selector, and that's where they put the serial number laser etched right into the side rather than on the top of the bar. So yeah. All right, let me get all these 74 parts out of the way. And I'm sure you guys all know this from experience, right? The more of these kits you buy over the years, the more you realize, get these small parts out of the stupid plastic bag and into something a little better, because they always send it to you in the crappiest plastic bag. And you just start losing little pins and springs just like nothing. Yeah, Tyvin, that's what I was saying in Ohio. Yep. Which I'm here in Michigan, so I know you're kind of on the other side of Pennsylvania, Ohio is where the Creator Summit's going to be, I believe. It's still not too awfully far from where I'm at. All right. So here's the AIMS 74. We're going to notice a hole right here. Okay. And a couple other, I would assume, just lightning cuts out of there. Now here's the RPK in my other hand. We're going to notice right off the bat, the RPK lacks the hole. It also lacks these little lightning, little scallops or dimples, whatever you want to call them, right? But what's interesting is they both appear to have the same thickness here, like identical thickness, okay? We have a little different method, a little bit of different stepping, I should say, on the top here. You can see there's a little bit of different milling and machining right there. It's hard to hold both and also put my hand behind it, right? There we go. You can see right in this portion here, the difference. Still not going to really affect, though, how the recoil assembly goes under there. Looking at the top here, you can see they did the lightning cuts a little different there, for sure. But at the end of the day, the details are just a little bit different as far as lightning cuts. Let me see how well I can line this up. At the end of the day, these trunnion holes are lining up perfectly. Okay. Now we're going to look at the width. Now it's going to be hard. I have no precision equipment here. And just as I suspected, these are basically the same, guys, as far as the actual fit and finish and functionality. Now, the machining and all the lightning is where we're going to notice big differences, okay? We're definitely going to notice big differences on basically what I'm seeing here. And I think it's pretty obvious. Everything they did to this AIMS 74 was just to lighten it, just to take away that ½ ounce of weight. Because if you look at the cuts here, are actually an additional step taken out. So this is lightened on the surface compared to the RPK. Obviously, this big hole in the back lightens it. These little drilled out dimples here obviously is for lightening. I can't see any other purpose, right? All the way down to even if you look at the back here, there's much more material on the tang portion where your screws go in, your retaining screws for the stock. The AIM 74, much lighter. See how it ramps up there and cuts right in? It's hard to tell, but you guys can see now. Look at that abrupt 90-degree kind of cliff there. And then if you look at the RPK, now, don't get me wrong. I think it was done on the AIMs because it's lighter, but I also think it's because they could get by with it. Because look at the recoil of a 545 compared to a 7.62x39, totally less recoil. This gun, serving a light machine gun role, the RPK, was built to take more sustained fire, right? So as far as the width goes, you can see that, interestingly enough, well, not really interesting, we kind of predicted this, the RPK is just a little bit narrower. You guys can barely see that there. See that little lip that hangs over on this part right here? And it's going to be ½ millimeter. So basically the AIMS, even though it's lighter and smaller in every other way, in this case, the actual width, this portion between my fingers, is going to be ½ millimeter wider than the one for the RPK. And that's because, just simple, just the receiver thickness. 1 millimeter receiver thickness here, 1.5 millimeter receiver thickness for the RPK. So to get it to fit up, we have to subtract ½ millimeter off of here. So this is ½ millimeter narrower than the AIMS. But yeah, just kind of cool to hold them side by side. But the key is, and I've had a couple people ask me this question, rivet patterns. So the answer is, if you want to rivet your AIMS, your rivet pattern is going to be fixed stock. So for your rear trunnion, because this is a fixed stock rear trunnion. And not AK-74 fixed stock pattern, but AK, or in this case, RPK pattern. Let's see what we got going here, guys. Who has something to say to me? Warsaw? Take a peek here. Is there anyone else that's popped in? If you have, say hi to me in case I missed you, because the comments do kind of scroll through here pretty quickly. I mean, it's not really that they scroll that quick. It's that I I get on rants so far, and I don't look very often. The box to my right over here is my Polish PM63 rack. And here I've got some boxes of ammunition and some books and whatnot. And my Burn Echo 1 jacket, which is awesome. And oh, by the way, I should be shooting the Polish PM63 tomorrow, guys. So I should finally have a video out. I've got a guy that said he'll come do some filming for me. So let's see. Did they make a 545 RPK? When you say they, Romania, no, but other countries, yes. Russia, Bulgaria, yes. Yeah, like we were saying earlier, back to the Trunnions. Yes, it's thicker on the RPK, but I don't really look at it as thicker as much as this is the normal size, and this I think is a lightened version of the baseline. Yep, 0.5 millimeter. Yeah, this is just one room in my shop. I have a couple shops for my business, and this is just kind of like, you guys got to remember too, it's wintertime right now, and I just kind of got projects sitting around. But I'm at my business right now as we speak. So this isn't like my whole shop. This is just like a room in my shop, if you will. The Ukrainians, yes, the Ukrainians had 545 RPKs, yes. Russian made ones though, of course. Let's see here. The Romanian RPK, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, 23.5, is that right? 23.5, but I could be wrong. I don't have any kind of cheat sheets in front of me right now. I could just Google it and sound really, really smart, but I don't remember everything. Yeah, shop sure does help, especially how cold it's been, man. We had that big Arctic blast. I'm sure Ohio got it too, because it was really cold. It's still cold out there right now as we speak, about 8 degrees, but it's supposed to be warming up a ton by tomorrow. It's funny though, because when you had -15 just 2 nights ago, all of a sudden 8 degrees in the positive feels like it's summer out. Ready to go out there some shorts. The problem is, even when I wear shorts, guys, this summer, I still have to wear this shirt because I have to wear just completely generic shirts now on here. It's kind of an inside joke, but it's true though. You got to watch what you wear on here. There'll be like a bunch of cool guys like you all for the longest time, and then there'll be some complete weirdos that kind of troll in the background too. Fort Scott munitions, are they putting out just the ammo for it, you're saying? Or yeah, -20, that's pretty cold. The Carhartts, I don't know, guys. I've had Carhartts forever, and they're durable and they're really good. But this is a lot more comfortable for me. This Burn Echo One, because I can actually sit down, and it doesn't come up real stiff around my neck, like the Carhartts. The Carhartts just stay real rigid. In fact, I think I never did the follow-up video on this. I'll show you guys right now on the screen now that I've got it set with a holster in it. I don't burn my leg up because I have a little space heater down here next to me. So yeah, I like it, guys. It's been, like I said, it's been fine. I haven't really like worked hard like under a car with it yet, just because it's still nice, and I just don't want to. I don't know. It's a work coat, but I've just chosen to kind of wear it when I go out for now, just to keep it nice as long as I can before I have to completely get it covered in grease and whatnot. You guys know what I'm saying, right? So yeah, I was talking before about the concealed carry pocket, right? How it's a regular functioning pocket up front here, but then it has the tearaway feature where you just grab it, rip it open, okay? So just, and then the holster's here. Oops, I drew above the camera, sorry. Let me try that again. I'm standing up. So you're basically here. I'm sorry, my instinct is just to pull the gun straight up so it goes off the camera. But yeah, I'm sporting my shield. Shield 9mm. And this is that Detroit holster shop holster that I got for it. And this is just woven. This is a Molly holster. It's got the Molly attachments on the back. And it's just woven through the Molly strapping that's built into the inside pocket. So it's a nice setup. I'm having a hard time drawing from it just because it's weird. If I come back too far, then you can't really see it. But if I'm too close, then you can see a little better there. Yeah, it's just a regular Kydex retention holster. And right now, when I pull on it, it's just coming up. But keep in mind, when I'm outside, I've actually got the jacket, you know, zipped up tight. And then that gives it retention for a one-hand draw. You got me? So even though right now I'm kind of having to reach down and grab it like this, when I actually have the jacket zipped and buttoned nice and tight, it's plenty tight enough just to draw with one hand. And I kind of wanted to, I know there's a lot of people that make Kydex, but the Detroit Holster Shop has a pretty good reputation if you check them out. And with me being in the general-ish vicinity, not next door or anything like that, but I still consider them to be a somewhat local company, because they're actually not in Detroit anymore. They're in another city that's even a little closer to me than that. So I kind of wanted to buy local, and I bought the jacket itself from them, even though they don't make it. This is made by the Burn company. And then the holster itself was handmade here in Detroit, Michigan. There, you can see it a little better now. And then they took their time, guys. They really polished the corners of it real nice. I mean, I've pulled from this holster quite a few times. And as you guys know with Kydex, it's always going to wear your finish a little bit. But the better job they do with the Kydex, the better they make the corners. It's going to keep it to a minimum. And, I mean, this gun's still looking great. So, there you go. Let's see what we got going on, guys, here in the comments. Yeah, Warsaw, these are nice. These Burn jackets. Oh, okay. We're talking about. Yeah, Strike 9 saying Cat also makes one similar to Carhartts that are more flexible, and that's what the deal is here too. Similar to a Carhartt, it's still that duck, if you will, just a lot more flexible, and the flannel inside's real soft. Let's see what we got going on here. So Mateo says I've dipped portions of silicone and acetone mix, like you do for cell nylon, I guess you're saying. Yeah, there's a bunch of other holster shops, guys. I just felt like kind of supporting the Detroit holster shop. Hey, I own a small business. You know, a lot of local business owners do business with my business and give me business. So whenever I can, I like to do my shopping with fellow people that are just like me, just running their little small mom and pop shop, right? So I'll be honest with you guys, if this local company sucked, maybe then I would go elsewhere, obviously. But even if they were the same as someone else or someone else was a little better, I'd even pay extra to buy locally because you have to do it. At least I have to. I mean, how could I not? Being a local business owner, I rely on people having me come to their properties to do services, and you know. Okay, Tyvin says the big question is, do I carry in the shower? It's a question that's going around that everyone's asking. I don't carry in the actual shower, no. But what I do actually do, I have to admit, is just, you know, right across the shower, I've got my vanity there, and I do set the gun right there on the vanity where I got the sliding glass doors in the shower. I could just slide the glass open and still keep my feet in the shower and reach and grab it. So in the shower, no, but accessible from the shower, yes. And I'm sure, according to a lot of the internet commandos, that's probably not good enough, right? They're probably going to say it needs to be on you in the shower. I think that's where you're heading with this, but yeah. Okay, I'm going to set these parts back with this. Even though I just did a video and I know which one's which, I still don't want to get these RPK and AIMS parts mixed together. And of course, every time I give you guys that look when I'm like, no, I don't want to do this, and I just emphasize it, can you take a guess why? Like maybe I've been around this stuff half my life, and I've screwed up everything you can think of as bad as possible, and I've dropped parts, mixed parts, all the stuff you fear you could do with these parts, I've done before, guys. That's why I'm like, I will not mix these two parts kits. And without rubbing it in, you guys can guess why I'm emphasizing that. These are great guns, by the way, too, guys. You know, I'm not going to get into what's the best gun, this and that, but man, it'd be hard to hate one of these shields, in my opinion. It really would be. Yeah, the trigger, I get it, but here's the deal. When you're really shooting a gun and you're trying to shoot it under stress, like just timing yourself, or you know, just trying to like set a little personal goal at the range, any type of stress, almost all this trigger crap goes away, in my opinion. Just my opinion only, but man, what a nice little gun. And of course, I've talked about the mag guts before. You can see that little shiny steel on there. This has the mag guts follower in here, so this is a round for free. That's what I love about the mag gut so much. You get an extra round, whether you're using the +1 mag or the base mag, you still get an extra round for free regardless without making the mag any longer at all. So yeah, this gun's got quite a bit of firepower in it right now. With this extended mag in it. And this isn't like an extended mag. This is just the bigger one of the two that you get when you buy it, right? And then with that mag guts in there, I don't know, there's just something about the grip on a shield. I really like a shield. And that's not my only on the body carry gun. I show you guys this gun before too. This is in a Remora pocket holster. This gun's always with me, meaning always, always, always. In some cases, this is my backup gun. In other cases, it's my only gun. There's situations I get into with my line of work where Sometimes I have to be crawling around where I can't print, because if you print, I was just talking to someone about this last night. You get caught printing in certain areas, you can have customers literally kick you off their property, right? Doesn't matter if it's legal, none of that at that point. I mean, it matters that it's legal. At least you're not going to jail, but you get kicked off someone's property, you're losing the job, right? You work for somebody and do that, you could lose your job. So there's sometimes when a little teeny pocket gun, it's either that or a screwdriver or a hammer, and those aren't effective tools. I'll take a 22 Derringer before I'd take a sharp stick if I had to pick. Now, maybe I wouldn't mind having the sharp stick next to me too, of course, in that case, but. And that's the gun world for you. As soon as I say, "Hey, could you not like this?" somebody doesn't, but I'm saying that with a smile on my face. There's no gun that everyone's going to like. That's why I kind of said that with a smile on my face when I said it. I don't understand how anyone couldn't like it. But then again, let's see here. Yeah, Mateo brings up a good point. He says, I carry all the time from the time I get up till I go to bed. It's not paranoia, it's consistency. I'm the same exact way. I just do it because I noticed this a couple of times when I've been like dog sick and I have to take the day off work and I'm moping around the house and I don't wear it all day because I'm just like basically standing in my pajamas or underwear all day in bed. A couple of times I've done that. Surprisingly, the next couple of days later, I get up and get back out again. I almost walk out the door without my gun. It's like so easy. It's like you take 1 or 2 days off from carrying your gun and you almost subliminally forget to put it on again. So to me, I'm the same way. I carry it often, always, so that if I can, so it's just a habit. I want to make sure I don't get caught without it. Because all it is that whole thing where nothing ever bad happens, right? Until it happens. And that's just the law of averages. And I'm not the luckiest person, trust me. So if it was that one time I didn't have my gun, that's when shit would go down, Let's see here. Someone's asking, more saying it's getting late. How much longer are you going to stay up? Oh, me, I don't have a bedtime. I'm a full-grown man, so I stay up as late as I want. But you can leave whenever you want if you're tired, so that's fine. Let's see here. Here's the question, though. You'd miss the burn if you were standing in front of it, but would you miss the burn if you were standing on the inside of the barn? But boxers are still considered underwear. I consider them underwear. I don't know. Would the 9mm AK conceal on this jacket? I don't think so. It'd be close, but they're big pockets, so I don't think I can actually conceal it. But I just thought of something here. See if I can do it like this. There we go. You guys see that? Let me get back in frame. I can just hang it there from the I'm just goofing around. This is a pretty small package for an AK, right? But I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure that this is technically concealable, right? I need to tighten up my I just noticed that I need to tighten up my brace a little bit. These use a set screw, and I really wanted to put one of those thumb screws on here, but I don't know. I've been doing some thinking about that, and I think that's a little bit of a gray area with the ATF. Have you guys ever seen that mod for these where you take out the little screw on the shockwave and you put on a big thumb screw so you don't need the tools? Yeah, Ryan brings up a good point. If you're missing the whole barn, it might not be the gun's fault, right, Tyvin? All right, good night. Talk to you later. Let's see here. Inside the jacket. No, I mean, I could, kind of. But yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. There's thumb screws you can get with these, right? Instead of using the Allen wrench. I think it's a gray area, in my opinion. I'm not going to go there. That was funny what Orion said, though, just out of the blue, man. That's hilarious. Like in the Old West, that'd be hilarious to see if I could get a outside the waistband. Oh, and I forgot to show you guys too. That's why I had the other one undone. So over here in the other pocket is where I keep an extra mag on tap. And here I'm just utilizing the bungee type molly webbing. It just fits right in there perfect, you know. Again, all this drawing works when you're actually secured tight. And there's the extra mag, and I have the same thing. I'm using the mag guts, which is a replacement, basically a replacement follower. And there's a little tab that goes under the floor plate, and then a replacement spring. But you're still using your actual base plate itself. And that's what's cool about it. You guys can see this is a perfect example. This is a +1 mag right now, and there's nothing sticking out at all. So yeah, love the mag guts. And I've put quite a few rounds with mag guts in the past in a couple different guns, actually. Same thing with this little Caltech. That's a +1. So all of a sudden you figure 6 +1 on the pipe, +1 with the mag guts. I've now got 8 rounds rather of 380 on tap. And 8 compared to 6, that could make or break it if you needed to, you know. Let's see here. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing. I've heard not legal to offer it, period. Like Orion says, I've definitely heard that. Now, here's the thing. I've heard what Mateo says, too. I've heard both. And I've heard both from reasonable people, though. That's the thing that's crazy here. I've had reasonable people that, you know, that you can normally, you know, kind of follow. And they've said, do it as long as it doesn't alter the function. Other people have literally said, if you take a brace and you wrap one piece of paracord around it, or if you put one piece of electrical tape on it, just hypothetically, it instantly. Now, I will tell you this, there's a company that did come up with a shockwave. They called it a protector. They didn't call it a butt plate pad or nothing. It was literally a piece of like soft rubber that fit over the end of it, right? For obvious reasons, because with a 9, who cares? But more powerful rounds. This is a little sharp, if you will, a little abrupt. No, there was just literally a soft rubber pad that went over the end of this, and it was called a brace protector. ATF instantly said that if that pad went on the brace, that it would make it a stock. So I know in certain cases it can be something that seems pretty darn innocent, and it instantly changes its classification. And here's what makes this this is what makes it so screwed up, these laws we have to live under. Both of these guys are making perfectly good points in the chat, guys, right now. Okay. Mateo says you can mod it if the mod in no way changes. Okay, I said that earlier. Ryan says, Mateo, but you're letting yourself subject to ATF decision, and we know that they waffle. That's also true. Okay, so my shockwave didn't even come with a strap as far as the strap thing goes. Mine didn't even come with one. I think the very first gen, they used to put a strap on these, but all the shockwaves I've purchased never came with one, so you're fine. Now, on the SIG brace, I've been told you should never, ever, ever remove the Velcro strap. So the only thing that sucks about these is you do have a screw that you have to use, and you have to use an Allen wrench. But here's what's interesting. They make a Gen 2 of this now that is adjustable like an SBA3. Well, and in that case, but that's how it's designed. It all comes down to the really, really nuances of this stuff. And yeah. Can a Beretta 92 fit? I haven't tried, but I'm sure it could. Because with this shield, there's still some more room to go here. I've got a little more room here. But just remember, I canted my holster how I wanted it. And I also set it up for this gun. I'm not buried down in the bottom of this pocket yet. So, I'd say in 1911, if you look at the cant, it's hard to see from this angle, but there's still quite a bit of room. Because remember, this holster, and I don't know what kind of holster you would get. So it's kind of an impossible question to answer, but if you have a holster that has adjustable cant and etc., yeah, I'm gonna say in general, yes, you could definitely fit a Beretta 92 in this jacket. And like Switchpod said, let's not tempt fate. It's hard because yes, let's not tempt fate. I agree with you, but then there's the side of me that's like, but I shouldn't have to live on the edge, and I shouldn't have to live scared either. So part of me is like, screw that, I'll tempt it if I want. But the other part is, no, I want to come home and see my daughter and wife tomorrow and not be indicted on something retarded. So all these topics you can literally go back and forth on, right? Yeah, like Mateo said, sad part is this will be moot. The whole pistol brace thing is going to be addressed, i.e. banned in an upcoming bill. Yeah, Dianne Feinstein's new assault weapons ban, it clearly bans the brace. Like no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And it even bans all the pistols that weigh over, I think it's 50 ounces. So it's going to ban, even if I take the brace off this pistol will be banned. So there you go. Even that PM63 rack, I think, weighs like 4 ounces more than what the league. So the rack will be banned. Now, they say now this new proposed assault weapons ban does have a grandfather in it. So I guess I'll get to keep mine, but I won't be able to buy another one. Sorry, guys. You saw my underwear a little bit. Yes, I do wear underwear. I don't care if it's in style or not. All right, let's see here. That jacket could be used as a blanket, actually. It feels like a nice soft blanket. It's kind of like a flannel, but like a flannel, almost like a jersey knit too. It's not as coarse as some of the flannel. It's like a real like tight wound flannel, if you will. But it's pretty nice. Are you laughing at me, Albert, when I said I wear underwear? I don't care. Okay, Dale's right. They missed something. They missed the firearm classification. Guns over 26 inches with a barrel under 16. And I think you also meant to add, but with no stock, right? That they're simply just classified as a firearm. Let's see here. Back to that whole gray area thing again. And it's so gray, it's like, how do you even spell gray? Is it like gray areas in G-R-A-Y area? Or is it G-R-E-Y area, right? Because the word gray is like a gray word in and of itself, because like you don't even know how to spell it. Yep. Feinstein's at it again, guys. Assault weapons ban. That's fully been endorsed in the past by Attorney General nominee Bill Barr. They're supposed to be voting for it here coming up next week, whether to confirm him or not. So I'm sure all of you have, but if you haven't yet or you forgot, call your senators. And by the way, if you're feeling a little spunky and you did call them last week, call them again. The Democrats vote early, vote often. We have to call early, call often. You can call more than once. When I call my senators, again, they don't even ask me my name. So it's not even a matter. Like, unless you call the same office within 5 minutes of itself and the person recognizes your voice, they don't know. You can call 10 times and there'll be 10 check marks there saying no to Barr. Especially if you live in California, call the crap out of Feinstein because Feinstein's really on the edge with him. And this is the one time that, like, Feinstein can help us. I can't believe I said that, and I think you guys know the context to take this in, but Feinstein can actually help us here. Did I say that out loud? Let's see here. Something about movies. I know you don't watch movies. I don't really watch movies, guys. All right, good night, Strike 9. It's past midnight here. I'm getting ready to I'm gonna call it quits here in just a second, guys. So I didn't really get back into the AIM OS kit too much, but that's fine. You guys saw it the other night. If you want me to do another video on it, I will. All right, good night, Warsaw. Thanks for stopping in. Wait, I'm sorry. Which one is that one? I'm sorry, it's late. Okay, anyways, whatever. Good night, whoever you are. Okay, Warsaw's still here. All right. Good to see you. Good to see you're still here. There's a couple fellas in here that clearly have different logos. Clearly, now that from what I understand, but when you're looking at it, any of you guys ever do your own streams where you do it through YouTube like this, and it's not against the white background? The screen I'm looking at is against a black background, and it really, really makes it hard to pick up people's logos when they're almost exclusively black. I'm trying to think if there's a way I can show. How can I show this to you guys? Okay, so keep in mind, this is what I'm looking at, guys. Okay, now, how am I supposed to, at a glance, tell the difference between this logo here and this logo here? Look, that one versus that one. That one versus, you guys see my problem here? I mean, look at this is what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I just had to try to do that just to clarify a little bit, guys. And again, I'm trying to go through here and I'm trying to go through and stay on topic a little bit, and I'm trying to, like, have at least speak in somewhat complete sentences. And there's people with almost all black logos with a teeny bit of white in the middle. And anyways, I don't want to go on about it. It's just hard for me to sometimes tell who the real people are. Generic logos, exactly what Albert said. They're basically using completely off-the-shelf generic logos that are kind of just open source logos, I'm going to assume. Is that what you mean, Albert? Okay. Orion Fixer's funny because he has a stock avatar and he's always had it. And I don't want you to change it because if you do, then I won't know who you are anymore. He just has that little blue, like the one they give you when you don't make your own avatar. But here's the thing, dude. Since you've had it so long, that is like actually your avatar now. So if you change it, it won't be. Yes, Mateo. Clearly, the avatars have been lifted from other things because, especially when you're looking against a black backdrop, they look so close with the white in the middle. And I don't know, whatever. Switchman said, black screens matter. Oh, that's funny. Actually, yours kind of does, Ape, in a way. Because I can see it. It doesn't show up as good, but I can see it. But the main thing here is I still know who you are because there's nobody with a logo that's like 99% the same. And well, you guys can probably see on your end, right? There's two very similar logos in the chat. Ryan says, I got too old to change. Well, hopefully you're already good to go then, right? You're perfect, right? So there's nothing you need to change. Let's see here, guys. Actually, Warsaw, I've been helping you out for the last 5 minutes and boring anyone half to death, explaining to them how they look the same on my black screen, but clearly one has something different that's white in the middle, and the other has another thing that's white in the middle. I just can't see it from here. So I've actually been trying to clarify this for you for 5 minutes, man. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what else I can do, but I don't really want to make this stream about anyone's particular name anymore. So, all right, let me take a peek here and see if there's anything I missed that was actually somewhat decent conversation earlier. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the Do you guys like the RPK? I think it's pretty cool. You got to get a receiver for it. All right, I'm yawning. Okay, am I back? Hi, guys. I'm not going to stay on for more than another like 2 minutes. I just kind of wanted to, real quick say bye to everybody. And Switchpod and I have been talking about Yugo barrels, right? And I plan on doing another little video here soon, kind of talking about some of these Yugo barrels and just barreled kits in general. Like, why would you want an original barreled kit versus a modern kit? And yeah, so I grabbed a couple random Yugo barrels. These are all original, Yugoslavian barrels from M70 rifles. So here's 3 of them. These all have varying degrees of bore quality, various degrees of galling and not galling. You'll see this one has quite a bit of galling here. And a little bit later, I'm gonna explain to you guys why these barrels can gall a little bit, but where it's not necessarily a bad thing. These parts can be mixed because these are not barrels that came with any certain kits. I bought these all as pulls. But yeah, you'll notice these will have the journal markings. I was talking about journals earlier with the parts kits. Let's see if I can get this to show. See, there's journal markings here. So yeah. Anyways, I'm going to talk about Yugo barrels a little bit, just kind of barrel kits in general here pretty soon. Some of these same questions I've gotten a lot. So yeah. All right, guys, I'm just taking one last look at the comments. Good night to everyone that's here. And I appreciate you guys sticking it out. We had fun tonight, or at least I did. Hopefully you guys did too. Yeah, hopefully everyone's getting along good and hanging out with their buddies in here and whatever, Let's see here. All right, well, I don't really see anything else in the comments too much, and it's been a little over 2 hours, so don't want to keep anyone up past their bedtime because apparently I was getting a hint earlier that it should be my bedtime. So, all right. I will see you guys soon. I'm probably going to do another standalone video here soon. Cross my fingers. If everything goes good tomorrow and I get my job done quick enough, I'm going to be doing a little shooting with the PM63 rack. I should have a video posting up soon with that. And then, yeah, a couple other things. So I'll be on probably sometime next week with a stream. So until then, thanks for watching, guys. Good hanging out with you, and have a good one. All right, see you later. Like I always do. I know I'm still on. I'm just waiting to open up this other window real quick before I kill it.